Hi y'all, my name is Tracy. This is the 3 Wick Thesis candle channel, and today I have a quick rundown of 3 of the 4 re-released Rudolph Collab candles over at Goose Creek. So I noticed these kind of just randomly popped up on the website. I actually first saw them in the app when I was scrolling through candles, and I had it in, I think, like newest order, and I was surprised. I was like, wait, when did Rudolph come back? Then I checked the browser. The browser actually does have a link. So if you go to candles and then you click on, I think it's like all candles. Let me just check candles and home fragrance, candles. And then if you scroll, you'll see there's an actual Rudolph collab link. The app doesn't have that yet as of the time of this recording. I don't know if these are last year's stock. They are the exact same labels. So I don't know if it'll be like the Peter Rabbit collab where a lot of the candles were just last year's, or if they're re-releasing with like new pours and similar to like the Pillsbury line that came back. So I'm going to talk about 2 that I have at my house right now. These are ones that I bought last year. It was a post-Christmas sale that they did. One of them I've fired up once, and if I recall, I was very indifferent about. I kind of felt like I wasn't going to like it, so I didn't fire it up again. I'm going to try that again with you here today, and if I don't like it, it will be a destash. The other one I have not burned, and then I have done the We're All Misfits. That was one I burned last December. It was one of the first ones in the collection I picked up. However, it was so fruity and summery that I saved it for Christmas in July. So what I'm going to do is just put a link to my July empties video in the description below, and you can click over and check that out if you want. That one's actually time-stamped to that candle, but if you would like to just see all the empties, I'll pop a card up here and you can click over if you have your cards on. The 4th one, which I didn't buy last year and I don't have to review because it just came back out, is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I will order that with my next haul, but as of the time of this recording, there aren't new candles out that I haven't already hauled or that aren't already on their way. And that one is Christmastown Fir, Shiny Red Apple, and Holiday Spice. And I'm guessing I didn't buy it last year because it had apple in it. Not a big apple fan. Definitely wasn't a big apple fan last year. It's grown on me. I think maybe next year I'll be more excited about apple. So let me just talk about the 2 that I have here in my place. One of those is the Ready Rudolph with Santa Claus on the front. I kind of dabbled in watching Rudolph when I was younger, but honestly this isn't that nostalgic for me. I didn't watch it very much. I still really like the label. This one has red, it's foil. It's kind of hard to see in the reflection there, but it is a shiny foil-like red snowflake. The jar is slightly transparent, so you can see the wax behind it. These are white matte lids. This last year's version is white wax. I don't know what this year's will be, if it'll be the same. Those look like, yeah, just kind of, they look like medium ropey, which I think that's what this other one is, the Fawn'd. Yeah, that one's also medium ropey. This has scent notes of old-fashioned candy cane, creamy milk chocolate, and sparkling sugar. Now, if I recall, and they're calling it peppermint bark snowflakes, I feel like this felt like a dupe of Bath & Body Works peppermint bark, and that milk chocolate note read like white chocolate to me. Yeah, and it still does. I think there's either one of 2 things happening. One is that this is more of a white chocolate than a milk chocolate. That's possible. 2 is that the milk chocolate is like that fake chocolate coin waxy vibe, and the peppermint is really, really creamy, almost like creamy vanilla candy-like. And those 2 things combined is making my brain read white chocolate. Either way, I get white chocolate energy from it, and it does remind me of Bath & Body Works peppermint bark. I do like this one better on cold. The peppermint feels a bit sharper, more what you would expect from a bark where you have like crushed candy canes on the top. So I'll fire it up for the review and let you know what I think. On cold, it's not horrible. I still feel like I'm on the fence. Fawn'd of You is the one I didn't burn at all. And you have Rudolph with all of his friends out in a snowy field with green foil snowflakes on the wraparound. And this is the same lid. Now this one's more of a glossy. This one looks more matte, maybe like a semi-gloss. This one's got quite a bit of sheen to it. You know, pick it up a little bit if I shine it into the light there. So these two are not the same lids despite being a part of the same collection. That could just be a painting mishap. White wax, medium ropey wicks. Those are pretty thick wicks on this one. Fawn'd of You is also called Under the Mistletoe. It's holiday mistletoe. It's strong. I can smell it just from having to take the lid off for like 2 seconds. North Pole spruce, holly berries, and rustic cedar. I like the holly berry note in here. It adds a hint of like sweet, fruity red berry. I get mistletoe for sure, and mistletoe is, to me, kind of a unique scent. It feels almost like herbaceous. It's not. It's technically, I think, grows in like a bush format. But it gives me like a herbal vibe. It feels like that level of freshness. And the pine in here is really nice. It's not too sappy. It does smell a little bit like their spruce that's in Classic Christmas Tree. It's not the same level of potency, and it's also kind of in the background. I feel like you get mistletoe and berry first. And if cedar wood is in here, it just says rustic cedar. I'm not getting a woody note. I mean, it smells like a pine forest, but I don't feel like I'm getting like a raw wood vibe. I'm just getting pine. So I'm guessing the cedar is more of a like needle cedar than it is a cedar wood. Very clean, very fresh, very crisp. A little bit herbaceous and sweet from the mistletoe and the berry. So I'm going to go fire both of these up, get some burn impressions, and also share with you some burn footage. I assume the labels will look basically the same glowing because they look the same online. And then I'll let you know about strength and throw, keeping in mind that these have been curing for a year, so they may not give the exact same performance as this year's batch, assuming this year's batch is new. I'll be right back after the cut. All right, y'all, I'm back. I have spent some time with these two candles, fired them up, revisited Ready Rudolph, and lit Fawn'd of You for the first time. Gotta say, of the two, Fawn'd of You is my favorite, and by quite a large margin. I also don't feel like it's fair to compare these. This is a very outdoorsy, holiday, Christmassy vibe. This one is a very foodie, gourmand vibe, but I'll talk about each one and let you know basically what are my insights. I'll start with number 2, where I always do my least favorite, and that is the Ready Rudolph. Now, this is a creeper. It's a beast. This thing is very strong. You have to like peppermint. You have to like chocolate. Because not only is it strong, but it came up the stairs and around the corner. So this thing has some energy, it has some strength, it has some throw. I will say that the milk chocolate note in here really walks the line between like fake chocolate coin energy and like a delicious milk chocolate. It's not so fake that I won't enjoy it. I will say, however, that that fake element paired with whatever the vanilla vibe, creamy vanilla that I'm getting from the peppermint that's in here, does make this feel a bit like white chocolate. It's not quite Bath & Body Works white chocolate in their peppermint bark, but I think if you like that, you won't be put off by this. And if you are put off by that, you may not fully like this one. I'm really kind of on the fence about it. I don't hate it, but I don't love it, and I personally would not rebuy it. The other thing I will note is that this one is a pretty hot burn. I did trim the wicks because I had already burned this one last year and I still had wick fallout. So it's not one that you're going to want to just let rip. You're going to want to pay attention. You're going to want to get your tweezers out and dig out those wick fallout bits. That way it will reduce soot and also fire hazard for you. So that one was my less favorite one. Fawn'd of You is really beautiful, and I'm actually happy to have this in my collection. I feel like we don't see mistletoe enough. And I know that some people don't like mistletoe. For me, on warm, it really just adds like a fresh green element that isn't grass. So it feels season appropriate, but it's also very fresh and very bright and kind of clean. It's paired really nicely with the spruce note that's in here. That spruce offers some sappy pineness or some like resinous pine that I think pairs nicely with the mistletoe. I would say this is mistletoe dominant. So if you don't like mistletoe, you will not like this candle, but personally, I really enjoyed it. It feels holiday without going full spruce and without needing balsam as a crutch, if that makes any sense. So I do think it's unique. I feel like it's a good break from a lot of the other pine scents that are out there. It also is a strong performer. I would not put this at beast mode, but I would say it is strong in strength. An excellent throw. It filled the space, not elusive, not a creeper, but did its job and is just a stellar performer. So I would recommend both of these in terms of performance, but in terms of scent, I would really only recommend the Fawn'd of You unless you really like peppermint bark from Bath & Body Works and you're looking for a little bit less white chocolate. Let me know in the comments below, do you have any questions for me? And also, if you have burned any of these and would like to share your insights, even if they contradict mine, that's always helpful, not only to me, but to others. If you appreciate my lit reviews like this, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. That lets me know that you like this content and that you want to see more of it. Stick around, subscribe, because I do have 2 more Goose Creek holiday lit reviews on the horizon, 2 new collections that were released recently, and I also have reviews for Kringle and Bath & Body Works, so you'll want to be here. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope this helped you out. I'll see you in my next video. Bye, everybody.